fast the way it travels through our systems.
Yeah. On that note, let's welcome to Totally Driven Radio, author. I bet she'd never expect to hear that before her name, but author Kim Camarota. Kim, welcome to Totally Driven Radio.
Hello, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. How you doing?
I'm okay.
You all right?
Yeah, a little nervous, but I'm fine.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. So now you're an author. You can actually tell this to people. You're an author. Did you ever expect to be calling yourself an author?
Never. Absolutely never.
What was your inspiration to actually start writing this?
Well, to be honest, I have very vivid dreams, and I like specific, detail-oriented dreams, and I just wake up in the middle of the night. Almost every night this happens, and I just write whatever I can remember down. And I ended up with a whole notebook filled with notes, little snippets of conversations, and I just started to write it from there, and I just kept going.
Wow. How long did it take you to do the first book?
It took me quite a while because I basically wrote at work on my 30-minute break. And so it's like 30 minutes each day. So it took me quite a while, about a year, to be honest.
Wow. Now, Who were some of your favorite authors that inspired you?
My favorite author is probably Christine Feehan. She has a dark series that is the Carpathians. It's all vampires, and it's just fantastic. And I just ate that all up, and I loved every second of it.
So the book is called The Soul Searcher, and it's vampire based. So I guess the vampires is like the hot thing now.
Yeah.
So which role of vampires were you going for? Like the sparkly vampires or the more true blood vampires?
Oh, geez. Probably right in the middle. My vampires do not sparkle, though. I'm not against sparkle. It. They do not sparkle. It's more. They're in my book. I have all different kinds. There's the DeCalla brothers, which the series is based on. They're an ancient three brothers, and they're the nice kind, But if they have to, they can get violent. But then there's also like the evil vampires, and I got all different kinds in there.
So your characters, are they based on anybody or?
I didn't intentionally base them on anyone, though people that have read my book have said that they can see me in some of the characters, and my friends, Steph and Molly, they can see characteristics of them in my characters. So I didn't intentionally do it, but it happened.
I guess a lot of authors kind of do that, where they bring use people they know and base their characters on them, but just not consciously, but subconsciously end up doing something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you actually plan to make this a series, don't you?
Yes, it is. I started out wanting it to be a trilogy, from the start. This was never going to be a single book. But after the 3 books are up, I may expand on some of the secondary characters. I'm not entirely sure yet, though, but I have some options there if I want to expand.
So you started from the get-go. You set out, this is going to be a trilogy, and you started laying the groundwork for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know that there was going to be 3 brothers. I know that each brother was going to have their own book, and I started from there.
Wow. So you yourself, what kind of books do you read yourself? Is it a lot of vampire stuff, or?
Well, normally the books that I read, to be honest, are all romance books. Most of them being the paranormal romances, because I love all things vampire. But I also like mysteries. I like Dan Brown. I like things like that too. So it's not just one genre.
So you're all over the place.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. I can't control myself with books.
Now, being now a writer, all writers say they suffer from writer's block. Did it strike you at times? Was it hard? How did you get past it?
Absolutely. That's why it took me so long to write the book. I actually had a 4-month period where I didn't write a thing. And it was horrific. I couldn't write it. I didn't feel like writing anything. I was doubting myself, and it was horrible. It was really tough to get out of.
Did you think about just scraping the whole idea altogether at times?
Absolutely. When I had first started with my notebook of notes, I had one of my friends read it, and she didn't particularly like it. And I'm like, oh, wow, all this work for nothing. And then I took a couple months off, and then I went back, and I'm like, you know what? She was right. So I kind of started brand new. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, writer's block is horrible if you've ever experienced it. It's tough to get out of. You just have to work through it. It's bad.
So you started writing it, you took months off, scraped it, and
Mm-hmm.
completely started fresh.
Absolutely. It was one of the best things I ever did, though. So I don't regret doing it that way.
Are you working on the next book already? Or are you taking time off, or?
Actually, I had started writing the second book, and then I stopped for a little bit to start editing The Soul Searcher to get it ready for purchase. And I just recently went back to writing the second book, and I'm about halfway done.
Do you find the process now becoming easier?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, a little bit easier. I know what to expect. I don't doubt myself that much anymore. So I know that if I just get it out of my head, write it on paper, as long as it's out of my head and on the paper, I can always go back and change things, which before I didn't do. I was so critical about everything I wrote.
So, in other words, what you're saying is by the time you're ready to do the third one will probably take you like 2 weeks to write.
I wouldn't say that, but, I mean, I'll try.
So, now your book is available only as an e-book.
Well, right now, so far. I'm hoping by next week it'll be available for print. I'm in the editing process for the print book right now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it just takes so much time to do. It's crazy.
So, what's like? I mean, do you have like a publisher that's putting it out for you? Are you able to do that yourself, or?
Well, I'm actually doing it self-published through Amazon.com. It's Kindle Direct Publishing. I just figured I would do it on the ebook first because it seemed like the fastest way to get it out to the public. And
gotcha.
then, but then I am working with CreateSpace right now to make it available in print. But it's all going to be available on Amazon once it's finished.
Wow. That's pretty awesome. You should be proud of yourself.
Yeah, I know. I never thought I'd, accomplish anything to this magnitude.
So do you walk around now and say, I'm an author?
No.
No?
It hasn't really set in yet.
Well, you should be proud of yourself.
Book.
You've written a book. Not many people can say that.
Yeah.
So now, where can we get the book at? Tell everybody.
It's right now it's just on Amazon.com, but in the coming weeks it should be available also on CreateSpace. So
go, everybody, to Amazon.com and look up The Soul Searcher by Kim Camarota. Also, she has a Facebook page, The Soul Searcher. Go to her page and like it, share it with your friends, buy the ebook, buy the real book, buy it all, and make her famous. And then we can see a movie about The Soul Searcher.
That would be fantastic.
Is that the ultimate goal? If somebody would make a movie out of it?
I mean, I never really thought of it. I honestly never thought that I would finish the book. But if someone wants to do a movie, that would be amazing. I wouldn't say no.
There you go. All right, everybody. That is Kim Camarota, The Soul Searcher. Go to Amazon.com, get the book. Anything else you want to plug out there, put out there that I missed?
No, not right now, but coming soon is going to be Dacian's book. That's coming
Is
soon.
whose book?
Dacian, it's the second brother.
Oh. Okay. So stay tuned for book 2. And maybe one of the brothers could be like, who's that guy, Christopher Maloney or something?
I have already been harassed plenty by mentioning Christopher Maloney. I think you know by who.
Yeah, I think I know by who, too. Well, there you go, Kim. You're out there in the world Wide Web, or as our friend Adam Kramer says, you're now live in the World Wide Webs.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good luck with everything, and we hope that book 2 comes out soon, and when it does, you'll have to come back on, and we'll plug that for you as well. I
definitely will. Thank you.
Thanks, Kim.
All right, bye.
All right, everybody. Kim Camarota, The Soul Searcher. Remember, go to Amazon.com, buy the book, download it, get it, purchase it, read it. Spread the word. All right, Frank.
Oh, you remember I was here. I was trying to get a word in edgewise, but you wouldn't let me talk, man. You were bogarting the interview there, fella.
Oh. Would I do that?
You do that all the time. I mean, I was anxiously trying to get a word in edgewise there.
Well, for the next interview, I won't bogart the interview.
But seriously, that's awesome, man. You know, having a plan and the trilogy, and that's the way to go, man. You gotta be forward thinking on that, because if the one takes off and you got 2 more in the hopper, you're gold, man. That's good thinking on her part, man. I give her all the credit in the world. That's where some of these movies are lacking, because they, or these books, they take off and then all of a sudden it's like, well, what do you got next? Let me get something out, and it's not as, but if you got 3 and you're ready to go, that's the way to go, because you never know what's going to pick up. I mean, I'll be honest with you, the True Blood, the books, if you had just told me about the stories before me seeing the show, because I read the books after I saw the show, I would have never thought that they were going to, I would have been like, sounds kind of stupid to me, and I would have never thought they were going to take off, but then, it just turns out that it just takes a little bit of interest to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, like I said, it's really such an awesome thing. Like, I've met Kim a few times. She's friends with my wife, and just to have, somebody that write a book. Like, I mean, our own Nick Wilkinson, he just wrote his 2nd book. I mean, it's just, you never expect, I mean,
that Nick could write?
How can I explain? No, Nick's an awesome writer. But just the fact that you always picture like an author, like it's such a major thing. You know what I mean? Like to write a book, to write something, and have somebody actually write a book. And, I mean, even like Nick writing his 2nd book now, I mean, that's just awesome.
I'll give you a little-known Frank fact. My father actually wrote and published a book.
Really?
Yes, he wrote a book on gambling. I think it was back in the 70s or 80s, and it was actually, he wrote a whole book on a roulette system, and it was a published book.